Welcome. In a world that is just constantly, endlessly fighting for our attention, trying to take back control can feel, well, pretty much impossible. Today, we're going to dive into a guide that pulls from some of the best science out there on habits, on focus, and well being to build a practical toolkit for a better you. Let's get started. So let's start with a question we all ask ourselves, right? You sit down to do that one important thing, and what happens? Suddenly, you're drowning in a sea of emails, notifications, and a million other distractions. Look, this isn't some kind of personal failing. It's a modern problem. And the cost to our productivity? It's staggering. Yep, that's right, 40%. Research shows that constantly multitasking, or what's really context switching, can slash your productivity by up to 40%. Think about that. Every single time you jump from a task to an email and back again, you don't just lose time, you're losing a huge chunk of your brain's processing power. And here, the numbers really just spell out the chaos. The average employee gets interrupted roughly every 15 minutes. Now, it takes at least that long to get into a productive flow state, which means deep focus is constantly being reset before it even has a chance to begin. Then you add in over 25 meetings a week, and it's crystal clear. Our work environment is often built for distraction, not for focus. So, how do we even begin to fight back? Well, we start by understanding the hidden engine that governs nearly everything we do, our habits. If we can crack this code, we can start to rebuild our days with real intention. This idea, made famous by author Charles Duhigg, is really the foundation of everything. Every single one of your habits, the good, the bad, all of them, runs on this simple three-part neurological loop, basically on autopilot inside your brain. Okay, so let's break it down. First, there's a cue. That's the trigger. This could be anything. A time of day, a place you're in, even an emotion you feel. That cue kicks off the routine, which is the behavior itself. And finally, you get the reward, which satisfies your brain and basically tells it, hey, this whole loop is worth remembering for next time. And this quote, it reveals the secret ingredient. You see, it's not just the reward that drives the loop. It's the anticipation of the reward. That feeling, that craving, that's what makes the habit loop so automatic and so incredibly powerful. All right, so now we get how habits work. Let's dig into how we can actually build better ones. For this, author James Clear gives us an incredibly practical toolkit with his 4 laws of behavior change. The first law is beautifully simple. Make the cue obvious. If you want to start a new habit, you have to make the trigger for it totally unavoidable. You want to run in the morning? Put your running shoes right by your bed. You want to drink more water? Easy. Put a water bottle right there on your desk. You're basically designing your environment to nudge you in the right direction. Second, you have to make it attractive. I mean, you've got to want to do it. A really great way to do this is by pairing a new habit with something you already love to do. For example, maybe you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast when you're on your daily walk. This makes the new habit feel way more like a treat, not some chore you have to get through. Law number 3 is to make it easy. And honestly, this might be the most crucial one of all. So often, we fail because we just aim way too high. The real key is to reduce the friction. Scale your new habit down so small that it takes less than 2 minutes to start. So instead of read every day, your goal is just read 1 page. You master the art of just showing up, and the momentum will build all by itself. And finally, the 4th law, make it satisfying. For a habit to really stick, our brains need an immediate reward. That feeling of success has to happen right now, not weeks down the road. This can be as simple as tracking your habit on a calendar and feeling that tiny jolt of satisfaction as you check it off. That immediate feedback tells your brain, hey, that was good, let's do that again. This quote just ties it all together so perfectly. The goal isn't just to do a habit, it's to become a certain type of person. Every single time you stick with a habit, you're casting a vote for your desired identity. You're not just going to the gym, you're becoming the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. Okay, so let's take this incredible framework and apply it to an area where so many of us struggle, our professional lives and that constant, draining war for our focus. Author Cal Newport calls the solution deep work. It's the ability to focus without any distraction on a task that really demands your brain power. This is the state where you produce your absolute best, most valuable, most creative work. And we have to make a really clear distinction here. On the left, you've got that high-value, deep work that pushes your skills. And on the right, you have shallow work, The logistical, often distracting tasks that you can do while you're not fully focused. The problem is, most of our days are spent completely stuck in that right-hand column. And this chart, wow, it just shows the massive disconnect. Employees feel they need over 8 more hours of productive time every week just to keep their heads above water, and yet almost 15 hours are just lost to meetings and other shallow tasks. We have to get intentional about carving out and protecting time for deep work. And this need for intentionality, it goes way beyond our desks. These exact same principles can build a foundational routine that completely transforms our personal well-being. Here are just a few simple, high-leverage habits. Waking up at a consistent time reinforces your body's natural rhythm. Drinking a glass of water first thing rehydrates you. Making time for movement, even just a short walk, improves your mood and focus. And a solid sleep routine, cool, dark, quiet, and screen-free, that's just non-negotiable for recovery and performing your best every day. Now, I know this might all sound like a lot, but here's the really good news. You do not have to change everything all at once. You just need to find your first domino. This is the idea of a keystone habit. It's one core change that sparks a massive chain reaction of other positive behaviors. For a lot of people, this is daily exercise. When you start working out, you often find you just naturally want to eat better. You start to sleep more deeply, and you feel way more focused. You find that one habit, and it can pull all the others along with it. And just remember this, the goal is not perfection, it's consistency. Bad days are going to happen. The key is to just show up anyway, even if it's only for those 2 minutes we talked about. Because every single time you do, you're enlarging your own capacity and proving to yourself that you are the kind of person who follows through. So as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one question. Thinking about everything we've covered, from the habit loop to deep work and these keystone habits, what is the one small 2-minute change you can make today to start that positive ripple effect? What's going to be your first domino?